How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Brian back at it again with another episode of the High Notes Podcast. Gentlemen, we have a lot of action-packed news to talk about. We're changing the format a little bit of the show. We've cut it down to just 3 topics. So in this episode, we're talking about the Switch 2 announcement, South Korea with a potential collapse incoming, and then the NBA playoffs. But gentlemen, let's break it off right off of the bat. Where do you guys want to start at?
Start at Switch 2, man.
So, gentlemen, the Switch 2 was announced at the Nintendo Direct. Gentlemen, right off the bat, $450 is the flat rate of what this new console costs before any tariffs, before any games. $450. The first Nintendo Switch dropped at a price of $300.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think, from the pictures that you guys seen and the videos of you guys seen, do you think it's worth that price hike?
I don't think it's bad because
It's not bad.
they made it bigger, right?
It's bigger.
How much is a P5 right now? Like 450, 400?
Somewhere in that ballpark. Same price as those consoles.
Switch 2, you feel me? I feel like the price is reasonable. It's not like, $1,000 or something like that, you know?
So, gentlemen, let me break this up into
Let me ask, like the Switch 2, it brings the thing where you could use it on the
TV. Yeah, it still brings that. It's the same thing as the original Switch.
I mean,
Now-
it's practically like a game console. Yeah,
It's a
I
real
don't see
game
no
console.
problem with it.
They added the game chat to it.
Uh-huh.
They made a bigger screen, and then they put like better stuff in it, so the games run smoother.
I have some controversies though for you gentlemen that you guys probably don't know aside from the price of that $450. You guys are only hearing that $450. There's some controversy. So you mentioned the game chat. Did you know that the game chat is only going to be free for the first year and then after that's going to be behind a paywall?
The game chat.
The game chat.
Just to
But like
talk.
for a subscription.
Yes. Separate from the Nintendo online access. It's going to be an additional subscription on top of that.
But
Just
I
to
feel
talk.
like
No.
They didn't even mention that. That wasn't in the announcement. This is people finding out after the fact. What do y'all think? $450 plus the game chat.
so. Wait, I have a Switch, right?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like the yearly subscription is less than a PS5 yearly subscription,
It's somewhere in the
and they
ballpark.
give you access to all the older games. So
Okay.
by doing that, you
But you're gonna have a problem here because they're not gonna be all backwards compatible onto the new. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. So all of the Switch games will be backwards compatible at launch. So all of the current games are gonna be playable at launch on the new Switch. But you're gonna have to pay for an upgrade to get that to the new Switch console.
So how much
So
is
you're-
the upgrade?
I don't know. They haven't really announced
So
that.
I feel like Switch, they haven't been taxing us, bro. So realistically speaking, you hop on a Switch.
Okay.
Like I said, the online, you can literally just buy a game and play it. You don't have to be online to play it.
That's true. That's very true. Most people are going to
So-
play only single player in these games. That's very
Exactly.
true.
So it's not like you absolutely need it unless you want to play some multiplayer games,
Mhm.
which you're already paying if you have an Xbox, if you have Game Pass.
Okay.
And then if you have the PlayStation and PlayStation Plus, they add more for PlayStation Plus. And it's like you're getting 2 free games a month.
Yeah.
Now,
So with that being
Okay.
said, though,
okay.
$450 I think is a great price solely because when the PS5 came out, it was like $500.
I think so.
It was
Somewhere in that
$500.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was 6-7 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And now look at
And now the
No.
PS5
And
Pro
you
costs
saw how
like
crazy it
$750.
and now this is only $450, and I feel like they're gonna get their money back regardless.
Okay,
I
okay,
feel
okay.
like if you're a kid under 15,
Yeah.
you're gonna want to switch. If you have a family, you're gonna want to switch because all the Nintendo games are family friendly games for the most
Okay.
part. So they're gonna make their bread back. And who doesn't want to play like Wii Sports?
Now-
like who doesn't want to play bowling? I'm a
Here's-
cop it
here-
just because I want to.
Here's the thing. So something that they also announced is that you guys remember back on the Nintendo DS that if one person had a game, they could share it locally to other people that were nearby. You guys remember that feature?
Mm-hmm.
They're bringing that feature back for the Switch too. So you're going to be able to buy a single game, and if you have multiple Switches, you can play the same game at the same time. So they're bringing that back. Now, the only thing is that the price of individual games is in question. Electronic versions of the game are looking at a price hike of about $90, between $80 and $90 for the electronic version. If you get the physical version will be even more expensive. You're talking about $100 plus after taxes. Gentlemen, is it worth $450? I don't think it is. They taxing, bro.
They are taxing for games.
I feel like for the console is good. Games though,
Uh-huh.
I feel like that's way
That's a
too
little
much.
too much.
That's way too
Okay.
much.
$100 a game is kind of insane.
That's a
I agree, completely agree.
And you're technically, let's say you're gonna want to buy physical copies of some games.
Some
Yeah.
Let's say Pokemon comes out.
Yeah.
You want a physical copy because down the line, like imagine if we had a still working version of Pokemon Yellow,
Yeah.
pristine condition. That shit probably goes for bread. So
No, that's a fact.
like you're supposed to like just collect those games, really.
Now here's a little bit more controversy on that when it comes to the actual like physical copies themselves. So yes, it's a physical copy, but the first time that you start the game, you have to be connected to the internet because it has to download backward files. And pretty much the physical copy is more of a key than it is like an actual copy of the game that lets you download that information off of the internet. So realistically, you're downloading the game onto the console. You're not buying an actual physical disc. Now, something that people are also saying that is controversial in the way that Nintendo is going about this. Right now, with this switch over to the physical copies and using these little SD cards, apparently the little SD cards that they're going to use for this are going to be faster, but they're going to give you a 256 gigabyte is going to be the base storage right off the bat. So a little bit more than most smartphones. Like that's like what's the iPhone come with? Like the base model, like 120 gigs. I think.
28.
Yeah, something like that. So double what a regular iPhone gives you. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. But then that's going to be based off of. They're going to estimate right now that the games that'll fit about 6 Switch games at any given time.
But that's at the same time, all consoles are like that because for my PS5, I had to get an SSD card in order to keep downloading games.
For more space.
Yeah. So that's just something you got to suck up, honestly.
The consumer just you gotta grow up.
Six gaming rotations is really not bad.
Okay.
Because by the time you get 6 games, you should at least be able to beat a couple. And
Okay.
Just erase that shit.
All right.
Or you can just buy more memory. Don't these have like SD cards that you just slot in for extra memory?
They do, but I don't know if they did that to the new one. The current Switch does. The new one, I'm not sure. That's something I didn't look further into that. That would make sense if you could add an extra SD card.
Yeah, the SD card. That's what they did with the previous version, and SD cards are pretty cheap now.
Yeah, you can get a lot of memory for low budget.
So I mean, for the base model itself to store this game without extra memory, that's pretty decent in my eyes.
That is
I
decent.
mean, like the one thing about Switches though, they're not like as strong as a PS5.
So this is also the interesting part. So something that is changing in this generation of Switches, they did a partnership with NVIDIA. So they're the same company that makes out the new GTX 50,000 series from their RTX line. I mean, I apologize. Their RTX line. So these guys are known in the computer industry as being able to make some of the most efficient, powerful chips possible. Do you guys remember in that last episode, well, not the last episode, a couple episodes ago, where I talked about how gaming is changing right now completely in terms of how they're selling you the less powerful parts, but they can do more than your current parts. So NVIDIA is the king of that. They're selling a less powerful chip that can upscale to higher resolution. So the base screen on the device is only 1080p. So you're going from 720p on the current Switch up to 1080p. Most consoles are at 4K right now plus. So when you connect it to the TV on the dock, it will upscale to 4K using some of that AI magic and tricks. So it's not super powerful, but at the same time, it's because of how optimized that it can do that.
But at the same time, I feel like for what a Switch is,
Okay.
changing from 1080p is an upgrade. Because realistically speaking, if you're sitting there on a console, like those games, like you can tell the difference between 4K, but also the screen is smaller.
Okay.
So I feel like it doesn't need to be 4K on the actual Switch screen.
I agree.
So
And
it's
a lot of
smaller screen.
A lot of the YouTubers and people that have gotten hands-on with the device already, what they're saying specifically is that the device's screen is actually so much better than the original Switch that it's even better than the OLED version of the Switch that has the upgraded display. And this is an LCD panel. So imagine if they put an OLED display on the Switch too. That's it's going to be a bestseller. Easily.
I feel the next model that drops.
They're going to have to. They're
going to have to. It's going to run the same marketing campaign.
I feel like also like why they probably don't even like put too much attention to like 4K or whatever is because the majority of the people that actually use this like system is mostly like little kids. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So they're just all around or whatever outside.
They know their target audience.
Exactly. They don't care about, oh my God, these graphics. They just want to play Fortnite. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a fact.
I feel like that's why they don't really look into that part.
Right. Now, gentlemen, now here's the thing. So Nintendo launched this at a price of $450, but it's competitive to other handhelds in the market. Have you guys heard of like the Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Steam Deck is a stripped down version of Windows, essentially, running on a handheld device, and you run Steam OS on it. So the games on Steam, I could do a Steam sale for $100, leave with 50 games, happy as a motherfucking king. Why in the fuck am I buying the Switch when the Steam Deck is at the damn near same price? Gentlemen, are we buying this?
I'm buying it. I'm buying the Switch. The reason why
Nintendo got you like this?
Nintendo has always come through in the clutch. I'm telling you, man. $450 is a great price point.
I feel like the one thing too is like the
elite.
Nintendo is for everybody too.
It's for everybody.
It's for
Everybody wants to play Mario Party.
That's true.
Exactly. Like you got to Switch.
No, Brian, we don't want to all play Rainbow Six on the Steam Deck all day. We don't want to do that. Sometimes we like Mario Party, some Wii Sports, some chill shit.
See, and that's the thing. So, did you guys see like the games that are about to launch? So, some of the new features that they're adding to this. So, they're adding new controls, where you'll be able to use the joysticks. You can use them as a cursor, like a mouse.
Yeah, I did.
So you'll be able to use it as a cursor, and they've shown that it even works on your lap. So you don't have to always play on like a table or surface.
That's fine.
They're smart, bro. They're smart. They be cooking in that.
With, like more interact. That's fire.
Yeah.
Wait, Romo.
Yeah.
Do you see the Kanye and academics interview?
I have not. I was actually on vacation when that shit
Oh,
dropped.
damn. Well, I just want to ask you, like, because like in that video, like Kanye West, he had like a.
You had a Steam Deck.
Oh, it was a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Okay,
he was producing beats on that, I think.
I don't doubt it.
I just wanted to ask like what that was.
Yeah, so most likely, if it was a handheld at the time, it probably was a Steam Deck. So the Steam Deck is it's literally just a stripped down like laptop. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
It looked like a Switch, right?
Yeah. So it's like a stripped down laptop if you really want to think about it, because it just runs Windows and then a version of Steam OS runs on top of that. That's really all it is. You can play games and all of that. So yeah, I can see how the Steam Deck like created like its fan base. It's because it was able to use your existing Steam library where you didn't have to go and buy a new console. So most people bought the Steam Deck. So I can see why it had that fan base. But like McNasty was saying, some niggas just want to play Mario Party. They don't want all that complicated shit at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yo, y'all used to play, y'all has like the original Wii's, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I played one, yeah.
Yeah, I used to play NBA on there.
No, I didn't.
So it was like, it did all the auto running for you, but you'll be the one like shooting or dunking or blocking, right?
Okay.
I feel like they should get a really good just 2K, not even like NBA 2K type shit, like original 2K game for the Switch. Or even, it could even be like outside hooping in the park type shit. But for the Wii, make it real interactive. Like you're really shooting threes. Like you got to swipe that shit to steal the ball.
That would be tough.
I seen a couple VR headsets like do it like interactive like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't do a VR headset. After 10 minutes, my head starts hurting, my eyes starts hurting.
So a problem with the VR headset specifically is the resolution of the eyes. So the higher the resolution, the less that you see like the illusion that something's not there, like that you're in a VR space. So that's why, for instance, like the Apple Vision Pro, whatever that shit is, their VR headset, like most people say, like that's the most clear VR experience you could possibly get. Like that's like top tier. It's up there. But that's why it costs so much, is because of how high that resolution is. Like that's higher than most TVs. So I can see right now for the time being why you would have not just you, like other people who also have like vision problems when it comes to like being in VR spaces for too long. But eventually that'll catch up. That will catch up when the technology gets it.
I feel like that should just be squeezing my head out there. Get this shit off me.
Nah.
Nah,
Talk
like,
about those VR heads. I haven't seen those like in person yet. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. They're definitely an experience. If you get the time to get like hands on with a real VR headset, like yeah, it's worth it. But then, gentlemen, talking about the games, 40 games apparently are going to be at launch, and they're not all going to be just Nintendo direct IP. We're talking like from developers of Elden Ring and shit like that, from software and people like that are going to be at launch titles. Gentlemen,
Wait, for what? For the
for the new
VR?
Switch.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wait, games by them?
Yeah, that's what we're talking right now. So the developers are on board, but again, gentlemen, the question $450. Do we think it's worth it
yeah.
before tariffs?
No, but I heard. I don't know if it's true, but they said electronics is not part of the tiers.
That was temporary, and that's as of today.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
they put the exemption. So for those of you that, everybody has heard of the tariffs at this point. So the tariffs on the U.S. to China went into effect yesterday, I believe, with China imposing 125% tariff on all U.S. goods coming in, going out to China. And then the U.S. on anything coming in was like at 145%. But that economically is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. So what they did was that they bluffed and they were like, well, we know that we're going to get to the negotiating table eventually. So we're going to put an exemption specifically on electronics, was the category that got the exemptions. So we won't see any of the price hikes because of the electronics just yet, but everything else is going to fucking skyrocket. So for the time being, the price of the Switch is back down to its actual retail price, but the hold is only for 90 days, and then all the tariffs go back into place
And when does the Switch 2 come out?
in the summer. So we might be screwed by the time that shit rolls around.
No, it comes
90
out.
days?
Oh, you can
That's
pre-order.
You can pre-order. So this
So
is
if you pre-order it April 9th, you're not gonna get that tier.
you can't even do that. So right now, because of the tariffs, Nintendo actually got rid of their pre-orders specifically in the US. The rest of the world will be able to pre-order. We won't.
Damn.
We have to wait until the summer.
That's
You thought Nintendo was just gonna sell you that shit for free? Nah.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking,
Gentlemen,
gentlemen?
taking the hit. Like, we already ordered it. You got to send us it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm still getting it. You're not swaying me
Locked
from
in?
some Switch. Nintendo, we're locked in for life, man.
McNasty couldn't be convinced otherwise. All right, McNasty. All
Locked in
right.
for life.
I'm telling you, if those new Switches come with a brand new Pokemon, he definitely locked in.
It has to.
I mean, not McNasty.
For sure, man. I have to continue my run as a Pokemon monster. Until
Pokemon Emeralds.
Yeah. Until the games start being complete like bullshit, like away from the original concept of Pokemon, I'm gonna keep playing them.
Okay, all right.
I already
Hey, man.
played all the Pokemon games released for Switch. I already played them. I beat the Elite Four. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I do not play post games anymore. I
Okay.
just beat the story and then I'm satisfied. Because you could be in the post game collecting all the
Forever.
Pokemon
It would take forever. Yeah, I know.
I was like,
You got
nah,
to
I
grind.
just beat the main story, become the champion, and then I'm done with it.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I agree with you because that takes forever in some games. Like especially for like games that like you have to 100% it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's tragic. But gentlemen,
Is
talking
it worth
about
it?
the what?
Is it worth it? Switch? I'm gonna probably say no.
You're not gonna get it.
Hell no, I ain't getting that shit.
All right,
I already got my Switch.
so my
But
personal
I
opinion.
barely play it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I got a Switch, bro, and I played it like 3 days, and then I never touched it again. I'm
saying.
not getting.
Nah, because the thing with Switch is that you have to be in that Nintendo world. So like you have to have specific like titles and IPs that you follow, and that's what gets you to come back to playing them.
I was playing Zelda. I was like, all right, this shit good. You know, I'm gonna play this. And then I was just like, yeah, I don't feel like
And then go on a P5 or something, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, if you're a regular player and you already have a Switch, probably not buy it.
Yeah.
But if you play a lot, like Nasty, yeah, you probably won't buy it.
You know what I'm gonna end up doing? I'm putting that shit on my wish list for Christmas. Yeah, I'm gonna have to gift it to me.
You can. He talking to the fans, not us.
Yeah, to the fans.
I'm talking to whoever's willing to gift me that.
Nah, but I will say, if I personally purchase it, I'm gonna buy it on used market. I'm not buying new. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I'll let somebody else pay that high ass price. Give it to me I'll pay $300 for it, easy.
So wait, I feel like I would never buy used electronics.
Why not?
I just feel like it gotta be brand new.
Why?
For me.
For what?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Because it's like you had another, like, if I had to buy it used, that means I really want it.
Uh-huh.
So why not buy it new? Like,
But what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
You had another grimy little fingers all over your shit, man. And then,
now there's marketplaces that specifically restore the product before they ship it out. So you can find marketplaces like that too for the used market. So there's
I don't know, man. I'd rather just buy something new straight up.
If something's like $450, so then they knock it off to like $300. But only like one person used it. It's not bad.
But it's like, I feel like there's nothing I would really want that bad that if I really, really wanted it, I would just buy it. Like, I feel like if you're buying it used, you really don't want it.
That's not true.
Because you're trying to get that deal on it.
That's not true.
You're trying to get the deal on it. That's what it is. I feel like that's only for electronics.
You think it's like an afterthought?
Yeah.
You're like
it's not a necessity for you. Which no game console should be a necessity unless you're in that workspace of where like you make money off of it. But
now here's a question. All right, so that's your price when buying that. So why do you make that same argument when you buy like a car?
I always buy used cars.
But that's the thing.
But you can't compare a car to a Switch too.
Okay.
I say we move on to the next topic.
That's a clip right there.
That's a clip. Oh, shit.
All right, this brings us to the ad break. Gentlemen, do we want to give the audience, if they are enjoying this episode, where they could find more of our socials and our video portions of these episodes as well? If you're only listening to the audio, we do drop video portions. Do you want to tell the audience, Big Nasty?
Yeah, you can find us on all major platforms like YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Breaker. You could also join the conversation on our Discord as well.
If you liking this episode, like, subscribe. As McNasty said, you can go to the link tree, follow us.
All right, gentlemen. But moving on to the next topic, gentlemen. So
get off the little gentleman head.
All right. A recent study came out. Not even a study. It was actually a news article that I was watching. That apparently right now the birth rate inside of South Korea, not North Korea. So the good Korea. Is apparently dropped. The good Korea has apparently dropped to 0.7 child per woman in the country. That means that for every single woman that's in the country, they're only having 0.7 children inside of the country. So this creates now an unstable situation where eventually by around the year 2060, they will not be able to sustain their elder population. Gentlemen, what do we think about about this. So South Korea might wipe itself out because they're not fucking enough. That's essentially what they're saying.
It's crazy. How is it in Japan? Isn't it bad in
Yeah,
Japan too?
birth rates are super low there too.
So it's apparently a global phenomenon, but South Korea specifically is the worst example, and they got to the point where there's no way of turning it around.
0.7 though.
They're at 0.7, yes.
But like, why aren't they having kids?
So some of the research points to their actual like society where they're way too hyper focused on like efficiently doing their jobs. So like they put way more hours into working than they do into actually like starting a family. And it's like it's illegal to work more than like 50 hours or something like that. But people are so hyper focused on their careers that the government is actually thinking about like raising that a little bit higher to allow them to like actually work more hours. Like that's something that they're considering. But it's like they're costing them their families in the process.
Right. I seen like, especially in Japan, like the business culture there, they allow you to take naps at work.
Mhm.
And that's a good thing because that means like you're trying to get refreshed and focus back into it.
Mhm.
And then like if there's like business meetings, have you seen that Twitter thread where it's just like Japanese businessmen just passed out drunk because they have to, after a meeting, they have to go and drink, and you can't leave until you're fucked up. Basically,
Gotcha.
Until the person who came in for the meeting to talk business with you is satisfied to go home. So you can have like a regular just worker who doesn't even drink, just focuses on work, and you're forced to get fucked up with these people. And you can't leave until they decide to leave. You can't stop drinking.
Okay.
It seemed like, especially while doing business, it seemed like a bad dude. You gotta be hospitable.
Gotcha.
Is that the right word? A big ass word for me.
I do understand like that's some of it is cultural. Now something that they also pointed out is that as a population and as a nation grows, because they're growing their economy, eventually their population becomes more educated. They have lower child mortality rates. But then at the same time, when those two things go down, the amount of children that they have also goes down with it. So this is not a problem that is only centered in South Korea. The U.S. is actually close behind them and China at a 1.36 something, I think, is where we sit. Now, do you guys know what the required rate is supposed to be?
3%.
No. How many children should each woman be having in order to maintain a population?
2.
There's an economic number.
2.
It is 2.
Right, so how they doing the point? How you have half a baby, bro?
It's an average. So like
Yeah.
if you take
Average, okay.
So that's on average how many children are born for every female in the country. So you're supposed to maintain a 2. Right now we're at 1.3, whatever it is. And then South Korea is so bad that they've reached the point of no return at 0.7 that they have to import people at this point in order to have more kids.
Nah, you got a good point though. How is there 1.5? Because you either don't have children, you have one child, or you have 2 children. So where's the 0.5?
That's what I'm saying.
Are they little?
Are you guys?
Yo, that's
Nah, cut that out. That was good.
That's it.
Nah, but I'm asking a serious
no,
question.
but it's like that's what I'm saying. Like 0.5 doesn't make sense. It's either you have like 1.
Oh, but wait, what if they have 5, right? And then the next door neighbor has 0. Technically, that's 2.5.
You just understood fractions. Yes.
I see what you guys.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you said
you're right.
for every woman.
Yeah, I know you did say
8.5.
that.
That's what you
Okay.
said.
All right.
Yeah, you
I
did say
worded that incorrectly. That's my fault. But that's what it averages out to. That's what I meant to say. So they've gotten to the point where it's a point of no return, where eventually their younger population won't be able to support the social benefits of their older generations for their elderly and whatnot. So another problem that comes from all of this is the fact that there aren't any young people to take on the traditions of the older generations. So their culture will also die off eventually because of the low population rate.
All right, but 2060 you said?
By 2060.
Damn.
That's
26 is around the corner though.
it's pretty close. But again, you have to remember it's the lifespan of a human.
Yeah.
So within a generation, about a generation and a half, you'll see them slowly wipe themselves off of.
So what would happen if that actually happens? Do you think like
What happens to the society? Pretending. So I
But
saw a
wait,
video on this.
let's talk about this. If their population goes down, right,
Uh-huh.
and North Korea stays the same,
Uh-huh.
would they invade and try to take over? Because who's gonna stop them? They got
Nobody
nobody in
can
the
stop 'em.
army.
Yep. Now-
Or do we do this?
Yeah.
Like the people who fuck with South Korea, do other countries send people over there to try to repopulate?
To take them over.
But then they wouldn't be fully Korean. It'll be other cultures mixed in with it. Let's say we send 500 Australians, 500 Dominicans, 500 Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm trying to say? Though?
Yeah. Go for it. Go for
Yeah.
it.
And then they are Korean.
So
though.
then all them shits is gonna blend in, but it won't be like authentic, I guess. So it will still have the same effect of wiping out the culture. Because you know
Over
what they are?
time. Over
There's
time.
Chinese people in DR that speak perfect Spanish,
Yeah.
but make Chinese food.
Mhm. That's a fact. That's a fact.
But they're
Pica, no
Dominican.
pica
They're
pollo.
Dominican, but obviously they're fully Asian.
No pica pollo.
Now, I always had a question about this.
She good as
Like,
fuck too.
let's say they spend their generations, right? Do they find other Chinese families to procreate with?
What do you mean?
So you know how there's those Chinese people in DR, right?
Uh-huh.
But they've been there for like 2 generations, let's say.
Mhm.
So they're still fully Asian.
Okay.
And then they probably have kids that are fully Asian. Do they seek out other Asian families within the country?
So
and
that
do, like,
depends.
arranged
That
marriages?
depends on their personal values, like within their families. So some more traditional families would prefer that in order to keep that lineage going, because they understand like how lineage like affects their society and stuff like that. Like they understand that. But at the same time, it's like you really can't control like who people like. So it's like that makes it a lot harder.
I've never seen a Chinese Dominican half and half over there.
Chinese, Dominican,
What do you mean, a Dominican
Like in
in
that
China?
and Dominican Asian.
No, like a half Dominican, half Chinese spawn in DR.
Spawn.
Like in the hood, like in the,
Like where they,
In the-
where they be making Chinese food at.
A Dominican Asian.
Like a Dominican Asian.
like actually might be onto something.
I never seen that. Have you seen
I
that?
know
I've
they
seen
exist.
them.
I know they
They
exist.
exist though.
Yeah, I
You
know
never
they
seen them.
exist.
They definitely. Is.
But I've never personally like actually like
What you saying? They hiding?
I'm saying they don't exist.
no, they have to exist.
They exist.
We
They
probably just haven't like realized like their heritage or their lineage. But I know they have to exist. It's impossible that they don't.
But have you seen one?
But that's what again,
So it's
I
like,
personally may have not paid attention to it, but I probably have at least passed by them.
So-
It's impossible.
when I
I
said the
was just
same thing,
all right. Look,
when I said the same thing about Bigfoot, y'all looked at me crazy. And now you're
we're
saying the
not
same
doing
shit.
this. We're not doing this.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
They come from.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
A Dominican
A
Asian.
Dominican Asian.
No, I see what you mean though. I see what you mean.
Well, I bet you if you go to New York, this
You'll find one, yeah.
you'll find one.
That's
Yeah.
New York. I'm talking about strictly in DR. It's definitely in DR, bro.
Has to be,
But yeah,
yeah.
I never seen it.
Right. So look, for instance, so when I went on my
I tried to
trip,
do that for like 2 weeks.
I
When was
just
the last
didn't
time
see
you
it
got
for
you got
10
pick up pollo in
seconds.
DR? When
Huh?
was the last time you got pick up pollo in DR?
Pick up last time I was there. What was that? Summertime?
And it was Asian.
Nah. Dominican.
Oh, Dominican.
what the fuck? Nah, but I'll give you the example. So right now, when I went to my most previous trip to the DR, I went from the north of the country all the way to the south of the country. And like, and like, and I explored like different parts of the country and like the people there and like all of that. So if you go all the way up north, what skin color do you think you would most likely find up there?
Light.
Like, light skin?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's either you're gonna find the whitest Dominicans, like you'd be like, yo, this nigga came from Europe like last week.
So you mean like
Or the-
opposite of the border of Haiti?
Yeah, opposite to where up
So
to
like-
the north.
okay.
Yeah. I went to Monte Cristi. That's like you can literally see Haiti from the beach line over there.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
straight up.
Yeah, straight up to the north.
Oh shit. All right, man.
Like either the whitest Dominicans you've ever seen, or if not, you'll see the darkest because of how close they are to Haiti.
Maybe.
So it's no in between. Now, when you get down to the south, that's where you see more of the mixed colors, and you're like, how does it get divided like that within the country?
You haven't been in the middle.
That's where you're gonna find her.
Find who?
Who are you looking for?
Oh, why would they be in the middle though? He's looking for him.
No, because down the
right arm ones.
So I gotta go where all the mixed breeds are.
Mhm. So if you go down to the center of Santo Domingo, they have Chinatown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all Chinese.
But that's what I
That
mean.
you know of.
That you know of. I can promise you.
But
if
you've
you
been
really,
to Chinatown?
yeah, I've been to the
And
Chinatown.
you didn't see one.
So
So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yes.
Am I tweaking, Melly?
You're not
He
telling-
hasn't seen
You
one.
got a point.
But
You
you
got a
don't know
point.
of because just because I don't look like it, I can still be it.
But what would they look like?
Uno dominicano, color.
Would they either be fully like
Well,
No,
no.
dominant traits?
Yeah, you don't know. That depends on the,
But the
on the pair
eyes
of genes.
Chinese.
It depends on appearance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you see a Dominican that could barely see,
Yo, that's crazy.
That stays in.
I gotta know. I'm like, what? How do you think
We
these people
taking
look
that
like?
shit out.
How do you think these people look like? Like you say you haven't seen one.
word.
I think it, like in my mind, I'm thinking of an Asian person
Okay.
with like the Dominican features. So it's like
What?
tan or dark skin with curly hair with a David Ortiz bill.
Jesus
fuck?
wild.
That's what I want to see, and I'll be like,
So you want an Asian version of you?
yeah. But like, you can distinctly see it. This shit makes no sense. What are we talking about?
No, I don't even think it is.
What are we was supposed to talk about?
We're so far off.
They aren't fucking enough.
No.
Niggas that put that. They aren't fucking enough.
I thought it was thinking. I don't know.
What the fuck?
Because that's what's happening.
What's the last topic there?
Wait, what? This is a professional atmosphere. Please stop playing with the show notes. All right, gentlemen. Moving on to the next topic here. Gentlemen, NBA playoffs. Talk about it. Let's
Oh,
go.
it's that time of the year.
Let's see the brackets.
Oh, yeah. Pull up
Can
the
we
bracket
start with
over
the
there.
brackets quick.
I don't know. What have you been saying like this past week?
What do you mean?
So China and 5.
China and 5, bro. That's crazy.
All
China
right, so what we got here in the playing tournament? We got the Bulls at 9 versus the Heat at 10.
Oh shit.
Then we got Orlando at 7 versus the Hawks.
Hawks.
Chill. And then on the other side, on the west side bracket, we have the Kings versus the, surprisingly, the Mavericks are up there. And then number 7 versus 8 is the, I think that might be the best game of the whole playoff.
Man.
I got Timberwolves.
Timberwolves and
Wolves.
Grizzlies.
Jeez.
So let's go top to bottom here.
Let's start with the East.
Yeah, let's start with the East and then move our way over. Heat versus Bull. Who we got?
Well, I got Heat.
You got Heat.
The
I got
Bulls,
Heat.
the Bulls is good, but I got the Heat.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna tighten up for that playoff one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I know you don't really watch basketball,
I'm
but
going with the Heat.
all right. Run the predictions.
I'm going to make a perfect bracket right now.
Gotcha. So then it goes to Orlando Magic versus the Hawks.
That's easy.
Now I'm gonna
Hawks.
give you my predictions.
Okay.
How exactly this whole playoff one's gonna go. Only on the Eastern Conference. We're gonna beat the Hawks easy. Boom.
Wait,
We're gonna,
who's we?
who is we? Me.
You're the Magic, right?
Yeah.
You're the Magic.
I'm Orlando Magic fan. So we're gonna beat them. Boom. Then we're gonna face the Cavaliers. Now Cavaliers
Again?
has busted our ass, but we bust their ass a couple times too. All right.
Hold on.
And we were injured the whole year. I feel like we're good right now. No injuries going in there. We're gonna give them all for their money. This is exactly what's gonna happen.
How many wins? How many
Mitchell-
wins? What you? How many games? How many
We're
games?
gonna go to Game 7, and we're gonna win.
Wow. I'm not going.
Actually, we'll probably play Cavs at home for Game 7. We're gonna beat them, and Donovan Mitchell's gonna choke.
Oh,
He's gonna choke. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know,
They have a stacked team here. It's not just Donovan Mitchell, man.
Mobley, he's gonna be a non-factor. Who else they got? Garrett,
Garland.
Garland's
Garrett.
nice, but he not gonna do nothing. I feel like once we take those three out of the equation,
Okay.
it's not really gonna be a factor.
That's a lot of people.
That's
though.
a lot. That's three.
That's
people y'all
three.
gotta stop.
We gotta stop. But think about it. Those big men, they get tired. They're not compact and
And how about
like
Magic?
Banchero.
Who the Magic got?
Banchero. We got Wagner.
And it was.
And we got Suggs. Suggs play lockdown defense.
He's like 6 man.
Suggs is better
Suggs plays good defense.
Suggs is better than Garland.
Suggs is better than Garland. I think they Garland might be better than him. But like 2 overalls, bro.
What?
And like Suggs is probably like an 81 and then
Ain't
Garland like a-
Suggs a 6 man?
No, he started point guard sometimes. They switch him out with Cole Anthony.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then we forget the sleeper.
Yeah.
KPP, baby.
Oh, bro.
10 threes.
Ooh.
KPP.
KPP? Who the hell is that?
You know who KPP is.
KCP?
Is it KCP? Yeah, exactly. Hey, man.
What a
Nigga
man.
said that my team.
Hey, man, listen. He sucked this year. But he's gonna wake up in playoffs. And then who we're gonna knock off after that? I think the Knicks are beating the Pistons,
Oh.
but that's gonna be a good ass game. The Pistons are gonna fight hard. Yeah, the Heat are getting washed by the Celtics, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And then I have the Bucks beating the Pacers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what's left with that? It'll be Orlando versus the Celtics.
No, it'll be Orlando versus Bucks.
Oh yeah, I'm tweaking. I think I read that wrong the whole way.
I was
If we
just
beat the
seeing
Hawks,
that.
we play the Celtics.
Nah, if you play the Celtics.
Oh, yeah, out of there.
Yeah.
In
Yo.
4.
Nah, not at 4.
I promise you
Game
guys.
seven.
Yeah, in 4.
Bet $10 on it.
Let's bet it.
4.
If y'all can get that for me.
Nah, in
Yeah, I would
4.
say what? Yeah,
Nah,
I would
I'm betting
4.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I would 4.
Now
I bet you.
we're gonna take him to game 6 or 7. I'm telling you, bro.
6
Bro,
and
that shit-
7.
We
You
might even fucking
crazy.
win.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. The Magic ain't got no shooting, bro.
Y'all ain't
They
got,
got
no,
no
y'all got
shooting,
no
But
defense.
we got heart.
Only
That's all that matters.
bro against the Celtics.
I'm
Celtics
telling
will
you,
pack
yo,
you
we're
all
gonna make
out
it-
in
I
4.
want to see them make it to the finals. Eastern
Ooh.
Conference Finals.
Ooh,
Orlando.
come on, bro. It was a good year.
All right, so who do you think is coming out the East on top? Realistically speaking.
All right, the East out top, bro. It's easy.
Celtics.
The Celtics. Come on.
Celtics?
Yeah.
You don't think the Knicks might give them a run? Or the
Hell
Cavaliers
no.
might give them a run?
Hell
Mm-mm.
no. Yeah.
And then how about for the West?
Cavs maybe. If they get their stuff
I
together.
don't know, bro.
But like the
Because
Celtics
realistically,
are
bro, like
stacked.
the Cavs only got 2 scorers, bro. And it's
That is
Donovan
true.
Mitchell and Darius Garland. And Darius Garland gonna have to give you like 25 each game. That nigga don't got it. I don't think he got it. I think the Celtics gonna pack them niggas out.
I don't
Like
know,
in
like
5 or 6.
it's the
No, I
playoffs.
agree with that. I think the Celtics might take the East.
Yeah, the Celtics is easy, bro. If the Bucks had Dame, then that's a little it's not even if they had Dame, bro.
Nah,
I mean,
they can't stop the
yeah,
Celtics.
like Celtics is just too nice.
They're too stacked. Like they got
Facts.
shooters, defense. Yeah.
And the Knicks, if the Knicks go to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics, that should be it'd be a good series. But the Knicks, like, it's just their coaching. I just don't like their coaching because they're a lot
With
Like,
Thibodeau,
they-
right?
yeah, like, they
I
play
feel
a
like
lot.
he runs
They
it.
play-
Yeah, he runs them to the
He
ground.
runs them down to the ground. Yeah,
You ever forgive him what he did to Derrick Rose?
I'm saying to Derrick Rose, to Jalen Brunson last year, he always just runs his players to the ground,
Nah,
bro.
yeah. The minutes
But
that
as
he
a
has
coach,
is
aren't
crazy.
you supposed to have your best players out there?
I mean,
but,
yeah,
like, you gotta give him
you're right. Yeah, you're right. But like, you gotta be smart with it too. Like he be, bro, they be up like 20 points. It be fucking 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they still playing. Like that shit just doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
Like they should be sitting down.
That's just telling me, yo, if you want to really win your parlay, go with the Knicks.
I'm saying, you're not lying.
Shit.
Yo,
How about
yeah.
the Western side?
Yeah, the West. I don't know the West. Not gonna lie.
West is hard.
West is. I feel like it's more competitive. I didn't even know that the Rockets were at second place.
Yes, Sarsky.
I feel like they don't really talk about them.
They snuck to the
No.
top. They did sneak to the top.
Rockets right there.
Dylan Brooks.
No lie, Dylan Brooks is definitely like I like Dylan Brooks. He's definitely
You like him because he's on your team.
yeah, he's that type of player. He's like Draymond, you know? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you
He's
just
like
like
a
him.
Pat Bev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just give it that energy. He's a defender where
Lakers in
he's
5.
not
though?
bad too. Lakers in 5.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually got Lakers
Oh,
versus
Warriors?
the Warriors.
that's,
Yeah,
that's gonna be a
Lakers
good ass
versus
series.
Warriors?
it's gonna be good, but I got the Lakers.
Lakers.
Ooh, that might go to 7.
Who do you think is going to the finals or the Western Conference Finals?
The Western, I got. Not gonna lie, I might have my goat Harden. I think it's his year.
Clippers?
I think it's Harden or the Lakers might pull it out.
Nah, man.
I got the Nuggets.
Yeah, of course you do.
I was gonna say the Nuggets, but I just see too much like team chemistry is just
So
is
nobody's
down
going
bad.
for the Thunder at the number
Nah,
one
I
seed?
feel like they're out second round.
They too inexperienced. You know what I'm saying? I mean they might have if they verse the Clippers, they might beat the Clippers next you know what I'm saying, because they're younger. And the Clippers are kind of are old.
Mhm.
But that's gonna be good. What y'all think about the playing though?
Playing. All right, so I don't know.
I
They're
got
good games.
Mavs over Kings.
Oh, Mavs over Kings.
I got Mavs over Kings.
It's gonna
And
be
I
good.
got I got Grizzlies over Timberwolves. I'm not gonna lie.
Grizzlies.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good ass game though.
Yeah.
I got the Timberwolves.
Damn, I love the playoffs. God damn.
Timberwolves. I
Yeah,
feel
my
like the
dick hard.
Timberwolves got that.
Yeah, man.
I feel like that was crazy. The only thing with the Grizzlies, I feel like the Grizzlies, they just be, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the Grizzlies, like they,
Yeah.
like John Moran. I mean, and they just fired the coach too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
So, like, you just don't know if the locker room is like too good right now.
I got Timberwolves.
I might have to go with the Timberwolves too.
I got Timberwolves. I got the Kings. Then what we got? Rockets versus Timberwolves. I got Rockets.
Yeah, dang, yeah.
Lakers versus
gonna be a good ass
Golden
series.
State. I got Lakers. Clippers versus Nuggets. I got Nuggets.
Not winning, Draco.
I believe that's gonna be a good whole series.
I got Clippers in 6. That's too easy.
Too easy.
And Kawhi, playoff
I
Kawhi.
forgot about playoff Jokic. Like he already averaging the triple double.
Yeah, but
Playoff, he
bro,
don't have no
Jokic
quadruple.
got nobody though. And Murray injured.
Now he'll be back.
What you think? Got nobody that team.
Nah, nobody. I just know
Nobody
that
gonna help.
What you
it's
mean?
gonna
got
be
nobody?
it's gonna be
Got
Lakers
nobody
in
on that team.
5.
Who you got on that team?
Who do y'all got
Who's
other than Harden
You got Harden,
and Kawhi if he's healthy?
Kawhi. We got top 5 center in Ivica Zubac. We got
He not
no.
stopping you.
We got no. Bro, what? What are you talking about, bro?
Zubac is stopping
The
you.
whole season he was locking up Jokic and he was cooking him too.
He's not stopping you.
He was cooking Jokic. We gonna see. We gonna see.
Bro, you
That's gonna
talking
be a
about
good ass
somebody
series.
that dropped what 60? And what he do? 60?
Can't do it against Zubac,
Come on, bro.
bro.
It's
And we got Norman Powell too. We got Norman Powell. Who we got? We got Don Bogdan too. We just got Bogdan. But we got some.
Who else? Name some G League players now.
And we got
Listen,
Ben Simmons. And we
I
got
feel
Ben
like-
Simmons.
Yeah.
Forgot
Oh,
that dude
brother.
still played.
With Ben
I'm
Simmons.
telling you, finals gonna be Lakers versus. I'm gonna say
Celtics?
Lakers versus Celtics. Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If the NBA is really, really rigged, that's what it gotta be.
happen. Yeah.
Gentlemen, I just had the craziest idea on how to actually end this debate
Give me that.
I know how to end this debate.
Like, ¿qué manito de?
Let me see. Let me see what you got.
Gentlemen, do you know what the wisdom of the crowd is? You guys know what that is?
Here we go with a fucking boat.
No. Do you know what the wisdom of the crowd is?
I don't.
So it's a mathematical theory on how you can guess something to within 1% of accuracy of the actual answer. And you gotta know how you do it.
So why don't you gamble?
Huh?
If you
Well, let me explain it.
All right.
So what you do is, let's say that they've tested this like at state fairs and stuff like that, where they have like a bull and they dressed it up and then they had people guess how much that bull weighed. When you took enough averages from just random strangers from different points of views and walks of lives, they came up with the answer that was within 1 degree or 1% of the actual answer by taking random guesses.
Alright.
Has anybody ever tried this experiment with a playoff bracket?
You gotta
Probably.
try it.
With,
Yeah,
a
probably,
playoff
yeah.
bracket? I don't think anybody's ever tried that.
Alright, so who do you think goes to the finals?
To the finals,
Yeah.
Celtics.
Yeah.
Dang, it's hard for the West, bro. Like it really
It's hard.
is.
Alright, let's just say like the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
Let's say like that side.
Okay.
Like the two finals. Here, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna probably say fuck it, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with the safe. I'm gonna say OKC and Lakers.
All right.
I agree with that.
George?
Oh, because I'm trying to see. Nah, I'm
No,
trying
it's
to.
good. It's good.
I'm
This
trying
will
to
probably
really like line it up.
This will get us closer.
All right, so boom.
So
So they got Russell him, right? OKC, and then what?
Nah,
OKC
it'll be-
versus them?
No, it'll be
Or OKC versus
it'll be OKC.
Lakers.
It'll be OKC versus the winner of the Mavs and the Kings,
Yeah.
and then the Rockets are gonna play the winner of the Grizzlies or the Timberwolves.
No,
Okay.
so boom. So you think the Timberwolves gonna win that game? So boom, the Timberwolves.
Ooh, because they gotta face each other.
Yeah,
That's what
Now,
I'm
here's the
saying.
thing. Here's the thing.
They
yeah.
gotta-
The Timberwolves. If the Timberwolves win, they're gonna verse the Rockets.
Right.
Now, something that we have to
So
keep.
if the Grizzlies win, and then they beat the Kings or the Mavs, then they're gonna verse the OKC.
Right.
So that's gonna be easy for OKC. Boom, and then OKC's gonna go to the second round, and then whoever wins from the Nuggets
That's what I'm
versus
saying.
Clippers.
Who do they play second round?
Gentlemen, before
Oh yeah.
give me a second, gentlemen. Before we switch any of our answers, keep in mind that for the wisdom of the crowd to work, we technically have to go with our first opinion
Oh no,
on what it was.
No, it's my first opinion. I'm gonna stay with my.
That's
my
your
opinion.
answer locked in.
Oh,
boom.
okay. OKC versus
We're not
Lakers.
supposed to know each other's like actual answers, and we
Ah,
average
bet.
it.
My shit gonna be OKC
I
versus
already
Lakers.
know.
That's my safe bet.
Okay. OKC in the West. McNasty,
That's what I say. Lakers.
George.
Lakers and Nuggets.
I got the Rockets.
Nigga, what the fuck did you come from? What?
So wait, it's
I know you're-
theory. Now who's gonna win?
Nigga,
One of the
what?
people that we said.
No. So what you're supposed to do is
No one even versus the Rockets.
what do you mean?
How the hell you got the Rockets? No one even
Are
versus.
they not in the playoffs?
Yeah, but no one's versus. We're out. Oh.
What are you
oh,
trying to
We said
find?
who
The-
wins.
Yeah, we're trying to get to who wins.
Yeah, I don't think Brian knows what he's talking about. Bro.
What do you mean?
All right,
Nigga,
we
you
picked
said-
everybody who we thought's gonna win, right?
Okay.
So, what's the answer?
What do you mean? So you can't get into the answer until you take everybody's averages. Like,
That's all right.
But we're telling you our averages.
what do you mean?
I saw
So-
average right now. I get what you're
Who's
talking
like-
about. Average right
Who's
now.
right now in the lead?
Lakers.
Lakers.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
Lakers is gonna take the West right now based off all our answers. So that would be Lakers.
That's
and the
our
East.
common. That's our common.
But yeah, there's literally 4 people in this room that.
You need more people for this to actually be as accurate as
Fuck,
possible.
why are we
So
doing
why are
this?
we doing this?
The audience, because we have a fucking podcast, I would assume would be able to comment.
Why you yelling?
Oh, my fault.
So Brian don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Who do they got winning in the playoffs this year? That's what we gotta talk about.
Look, man, the West is probably gonna be.
No,
safe
it's
bet.
everything. It's everything. Who's gonna win it?
Winning everything?
The,
Celtics.
the comments.
Celtics are winning this
Oh,
year.
the finals. Yeah.
That's it.
I'm gonna go with Orlando.
All right.
But
Alright.
they're not even.
I'm gonna go with Orlando.
They're not even passing the freaking.
They're not moving
When's
on.
the finals? When's the
They're
finals?
not even being trained.
The finals?
Yeah, when's the finals?
Oh, like in June.
And, yeah, like June.
So on the Spotify, I'll start up what's it called? The little
Like a poll.
one of the polls, yeah. And we'll have all of the possible teams. And then once we get to the end of the finals, we'll see who won on this episode. We'll go back to see who was in that camp.
Or like
Sound like a plan?
we're gonna
Or
start.
we could just wait till the finals and find out who wins, and then that would be
This
who
nigga.
actually won. You're just talking some bullshit.
We're trying to interact with the crowd here.
I think that's good enough for this episode. I'm not gonna lie. This is yapping.
Oh
All right,
shit.
so now we gotta go to the next topic.
That was funny.
Is it true?
No, nigga. What the fuck?
Yo.
All right, Brian, take us out, man.
All right, but if you guys like this episode, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends. Follow us on all of our social medias on the link tree. That is linktr.ee/hi HI notes with an S podcast. If you guys want all of our socials off of there, the TikTok. We finally got that up and running, and we're doing numbers, gentlemen. We're doing numbers. What do we think? What do we think on the TikTok?
Word, just
It's
keep
good.
hating, man.
Oh, don't hate. Don't do that.
Oh,
Just keep commenting.
Yeah, just
Put your opinions in the
as long
comments.
as you give the video a like.
We're
you know
having
what
fun
I'm
with the
saying?
comments.
Yeah, the comments is funny.
Mhm.
Nah, the comments are hilarious. It's like you be getting cooked, and you just can't help but just laugh.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
You get cooked, and you be laughing.
Nah, the one comment was like they can vote.
Time out. I want to bring this up. I googled the moon base thing, and it's
Okay.
an actual conspiracy. Well, not conspiracy. NASA's actually trying to work on the base up there to have humans live there and use it as a stepping stone to go to other planets. It's called the Artemis Project.
Ooh, so you was
So
already
I was
on
actually
that.
right.
Wait,
and
time
this
out,
nigga
time
was
out.
cooking me.
No, Mission Artemis is a set of missions that are about to go into effect, I think, next year or 2 years from now, where we're going to go back to the moon.
Yeah.
I don't think we're setting up base. I don't think that's the initial steps of this actual mission, but we are going back to the moon within the next few years. So then all the motherfuckers will be like, the moon landing was fake. Checkmate, motherfucker.
Look at this right here, George. It says,
you
yes, the
got it
Artemis
saved.
Project is a real program. Aims to return to the moon for the first time since 1972.
Uh-huh.
It's a 3-phase structure, which includes missions to explore the south pole of the moon
Okay.
and establish a what? A long-term presence on the moon. Motherfuckers
That
gotta
doesn't
be
mean we're going to have a
around there.
moon base, though.
So how are we gonna have a long-term presence on the moon if we're
You can,
not
put,
there?
you can put robots on the moon, and that's technically a long-term presence.
to
You gotta always be careful with the wording when it comes to that kind of shit.
Look, they're emphasized on equality by aiming to land the first woman and first person of color on the lunar surface. So they're gonna go on the moon, right? And then they're gonna use it as a stepping stone to go to other projects.
So you
Yo.
say we have a long-term presence on Mars since they had that robot?
Yeah. Technically, we're the only niggas on there right now that I'm aware of. Y'all think China landed on the other side of the
I heard that China's also in the race to make a base as well.
Most
Where, in the
countries,
moon?
most advanced nations right now have to get into space.
And
That's
that's
just
it
part of
also says
natural progression.
they're trying to make a human outpost or facility on or below the moon's surface, serving as a base for robotic or human activity. So you're right on the robot part,
Okay.
but it's also for human.
Okay.
And then it's going to provide a surface infrastructure, potentially acting as a stepping stone for deeper space exploration. I was right.
All right, that's
I was correct.
I mean,
It
that's
was
sweet.
cooking me. Honestly, like if you Google it, they have the polished version. I was just going off the dome, and it wasn't even really deep. It was Ada Welcome one. That nigga on the PR run right now. You won't see him for a couple episodes. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, that niggas is going hard. Like I'm double. This is my was so crazy. in the
Nah, they
comments.
was violent.
Talk about losing neurons. Talk about we're allowed to vote.
Yo.
The Department of Education is leaving. Oh, shit. But alright, keep calling him. I appreciate the comments, for real. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Some of y'all had me dying. There was one dude, his name was Honda Vehicles under MSRP. and he was like, wow, why didn't NASA think of that? And he could honestly tell you being sarcastic. So, I just be like, give us some spaceships under MSRP and we out there.
Figure it out, bro. You
And then
figured
he
it out.
subscribed, like, right after that. So,
There
now
you
he's
go.
a fan.
Oh man, nah, the
Damn,
definitely the
that's fine.
social media interaction is hilarious. We love it. Keep it coming, you guys. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.